My name is Adrian Nantchev, and this channel is all about helping you become a remarkable entrepreneur. So, click on the subscribe button and press the bell notification next to it for the latest upload. Now, are entrepreneurs born or are they made? It's a very interesting question because it kind of determines how we approach entrepreneurship in our life. Some people leap into it, other people timidly tip their toes into it and gently swim into it and then leap into it. But it's interesting because a lot of people talk about how bad their life is and they tend to gripe at the rich, but they don't always connect the dots and the penny doesn't quite drop when they realise that they can, or they could, or maybe could also become rich. See, the rich, they have the same world, same life, 24 hours in a day. They're hungry and they have pain and they have depression and all the rest, or they have emotions, but they play the same game, the same life, but by different rules. They have different standards, different thought processes, things like that. So it's interesting where it's like, are entrepreneurs born or are they made? I can't quite decide because, you see, for someone to be an entrepreneur, they need to have the awareness and they need to learn new skills. So they have to be open-minded and they have to be self-critical and critical thinking. They have to be introspective and retrospective. Thinking, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? Now, people can learn that. People can be taught that, but I don't know how well they can be taught. Is it like, do this, do that, remember this rule, remember that rule, think, criticise yourself, argue against yourself better than the opposition can, think introspectively. But not everyone can think introspectively, and not everyone will. Or some people have never thought about doing that. So you can teach them, but will they follow it? Maybe, maybe not. But also, the other thing is awareness. Now, how can you teach awareness? You can teach awareness through experience, through life experience, but that means you have to be alive, for years and years and years, unless you're under a mentor or something. But even then, it's not quite the same. Or is it? It's interesting. Is it nature or nurture? So it's like, my argument for they're born is that some people are just born naturally more introspective, more awareness. They have more inner ability to critique themselves and say what they do wrong, and at the same time they have the right genes where they can learn stuff really fast. They can pick up things really quick and they realise their error, they learn new things and they realise what doesn't work, so they self-correct themselves. It's what is called reflection in action, where you are changing and reflecting on your strategy and your belief as you're acting it all out. So some people will be born that way and they're like, I know what I'm doing wrong, or they just realise it's just like a light bulb turned on. And other people can be taught it. You can take this is why some people in the 1950s and 60s who started off as in the post office, in a big corporate building, in the post room, and they work their way up to management and beyond. Or they learn these skills for years and years and years, and then at age 30 or 40, after they're climbing the ladder, they say, I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to do it myself. Read a few books here, know what the hell to do, know what to do. Same with the one, read some books here, know what to do, and then get started. See, it's interesting because people don't always realise that they can be an entrepreneur, and I'm not sure if we're born or we're made. I feel I'm slightly more inclined to say born, because people who are 14, 13, 16, 18 in the early 20s can realise right at the bat that what's wrong with or what's wrong with their life, and think, look at the other world around them, and the penny drops, and it says, I do not want that. What else is out there? Let's have a look. And I think you can't teach that. I don't think you can tell them, hey, look out in the world, look what's wrong with it. Do you think there's an alternative? Because some people will look at the world and say, there is no alternative. They'll be born in America or Canada or UK, and there's no alternative work. I remember someone who is 60 odd years old. I haven't seen her in 8 or so months. Yeah, something. Oh, 6 months, 7 months now, it's July. And I remember her saying that working is the only way. There's no other way around it. They have to work. There's no other way to make money. And unfortunately, that's a bit closed-minded. But even closed-mindedness, see, is that born or do you learn that? So this person that said there's no other way, and yet they're 60 odd, 70 odd, I don't know how old, 65 odd, I'm not sure. And yet the penny's never dropped where they realised there is an alternative. Let's go and find it. There must be something better than this, grinding, working 8 hours a day. There must be something better. Let's try and find it. Let's go on YouTube and type something new in, entrepreneur. Let's go into Amazon and type entrepreneur in. Let's see what turns up. There must be something better. Not everyone has that ability, I don't think, to simply say that, that critiquing the situation, saying what can I do better, what's wrong, what am I doing wrong, what was more efficient, and then actively searching for it. I think you're born with that. You can teach it, but I don't think it's the same. People unless people give a shit or it's instinctive, they're not going to do it. And you can teach instincts, repetition, and experience and exposure, but that's long term. That's the long term game, as opposed to if it's built in, then people are much more inquisitive naturally. There's these personality tests you can do. There's the Hexaco, which is brilliant, bloody complicated, and there's the Myers-Briggs. Myers-Briggs is a bit more dumbed down, but very nice and simple and straightforward. Hexaco is crazy, how conscious are you, how industrious are you, how inquisitive are you. Some really interesting stuff. Actually breaks it down and looks at you compared to the median or the range, or how they, how prudent are you. Here's the median, here's where you are, that kind of stuff. Hexaco, Hexaco, and Myers-Briggs. If you just type in 16personalities.com and look for if you go into Google and type in Hexaco, Hexaco, and 16 personalities and do the tests, some interesting results. Turns out on Myers-Briggs, I'm an ENTJ, which is commander, and I like that. Another one is ESTJ. So I've always got a mix. So most 60-70% of the results or 80-odd% of the results have always been ENTJ. And the rest have been ESTJ, executive and commander. So it's interesting. ENTJ is extrovert, intuitive, thinking and judging. And ESTJ is extrovert, sensitive, thinking and judging. Or extrovert, introvert, so it's interesting little measure. So that's worthwhile looking into, that is. Because some people are born extrovert, and will they ever become an introvert, or vice versa? Can they learn? See, people can learn to go from introvert to extrovert, and I don't know if you can go from extrovert to introvert. I've never met anyone who's done that, or never heard of that. But I know someone who's gone from introvert to extrovert, and they've really changed their life around, or they've done stuff. They've done much more stuff than they could have done if they were purely introvert. Not to say that you can't succeed if you're an introvert, but this guy, he had done a lot more by being much more open in front of the cameras and doing stuff on film. So it's interesting. Personalities. As I said, I think they're more born. More towards born, because some things you just can't learn, or you can't learn quick enough to have a meaningful impact in your life. Like the person who's 60, 67 odd, 60 odd, they never learned these lessons, and yet the principles were right there. The books on there from Amazon. If they're really desperate, the books are probably in the library. But But the question of the day is, do you think entrepreneurs are born or made? As I said, I think they're made, because there's just some things in the genes, genetics, or something that's developed in the womb, or something that's just click together, and there's certain brain cells click at age 1, age 2 when you're developing. Something just happens naturally, and you're thinking on a different wavelength. I think so. You just think differently from the very beginning, and that has a big divergence over life, over time, and the effect is much more profound over time, and you realise that. That's what I think. But what do you think? Are they born or are they made? Because that answer helps essentially demolish the excuses why some people don't succeed or choose or just gripe at the rich, saying, "Oh, I could never achieve that." But it's like, are you sure? Because some schools of thought saying you can. It's all teachable. Because business ultimately is just managing people and just products and sales and all the rest, and that's learnable. Anyone can learn that stuff. Key performance indicators, sales funnel, ROI on products. Supplier, just contact them and say, "I want to buy your stuff for a tenner. Okay, I'm going to flog it for 20 quid. That's easy. Anyone can do that. Businesses do it all the time. But do you have that ability to actually start the ball rolling? Or are you just purely the employee that starts, that joins, or are you a starter? It's interesting because you can go from an employee to an entrepreneur. But does everyone do it? Not always. But anyway, what do you think? Are they born or are they made? It's a very interesting school of thought. And click on the subscribe button and press the bell notification next to it for the latest uploads, and you'll see me again soon. How cool is that?